Welcome to the I-80 Club and another Before the Witching Hour. Josh Peterson, Matt McMaster getting ready for the National Football League. Week number 8. Matt, hello. Sorry that we're a little bit late. Today was my fault. I apologize.
Ha! I was right on time at 9:29. I was actually, I had to leave very quickly at 9:30 because I had to make sure that the peach cobbler is doing what it needs to do, which it currently is.
There we go.
God, I can't wait. Can't wait to have this cobbler, man. It's going to be so good. It's going to be such a good day.
Oh, man, the cobbler's so good.
Man, I mean, here's a cobbler that only needs 3 ingredients. You put the peaches in, you put the cake mix, you add the butter. I mean, what a dessert. So quick in 4 hours, Mike. I mean, you just can't beat it.
Oh, it's so good to be here. Matt's coming over today with some other dudes. One of the reasons that I was late, Matt. I was finishing up the buffalo sauce.
Whoa!
We'll have that ready to go for the wings.
A certain person isn't gonna like that.
Yeah. What did you say last week when I bought us Popeyes about the mild versus the spicy?
Oh yeah, Mama made a bitch, dude. I can't. I don't like.
Mama did raise a bitch.
Mama did raise a bitch.
Hopefully not too hot for you today.
No, it'll be fine. I can do buffalo. It's weird. Like there are times where I can do like a serrano pepper, and I like it, and then there are times where I have a jalapeno, and I'm like dying. I'm like I think my body doesn't know what my spice tolerance is. Sometimes the Cuban kicks in, sometimes the Irish kicks in. I mean, just honestly, I think my brain is just not in communication with my stomach whatsoever. They're just on 2 different planes.
Oh, interesting. I went to Monolithics. They had their birthday party the other day.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. What? I thought you kind of said that like, oh, that's kind of concerning. Like,
no. Well, I was going to tell you. So I went to Monolithic, and one of the things that their head brewer had made was he like this super spicy. What's the Carolina Reaper or whatever that pepper?
Yeah.
It was one of those inside of one of their beers that they always have. So he was like, "Do you want to try it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" He gave it to me like a little tiny pour, dude. I think my stomach, it wasn't like in knots later, but I was definitely on the struggle bus, and I'm going to blame it on the Carolina Reaper beer that I had. It was a very tough hang.
I think I once had like the Nashville hot sauce at Buffalo Wild Wings, which is like their 8th hottest sauce, and it put my stomach in a grind. I was like, that was not fun. So yeah, I mean, I'll have Buffalo though. I'm cool with Buffalo.
Yeah, Bruce says in the YouTube chat, Josh, for reference, Serranos are hotter than jalapenos. Yes, I know that. It wasn't a jalapeno beer. It was a Carolina Reaper beer.
It was. Dude, I don't know why you would do that.
I had a tiny lit, and I was like, I'm good to go. I didn't have.
We could have a podcast on this. I don't know, like, I don't get me wrong. I like hot food. Like, I like there are things that I'm like, I need a little spice. You know, I need a little hot sauce on this or stuff like that. Sure. But like, I don't get the people who love like ghost pepper or who love like, you know, the habanero. You know, habanero's really in right now. Like,
oh yeah,
habanero's hot, man. Habanero pepper, that'll mess you up. I don't know why people love that so much. I don't know what it is.
They like having hurt stomachs.
Hurt tummies.
Welcome in, everybody. This is Before the Witching Hour. If you stumbled upon us, this is the first time you've ever watched us. We do this each and every Sunday morning. We go on at 9:30 or thereabouts because one of us is usually late. We get you ready for the NFL through the lens of 5 games with the ancillary conversations about other games as well. The games will always involve our favorite teams. So today we'll be talking about the Cowboys game versus the Broncos, which is in the 3:25 window. We will be talking about your very intriguing game against the Baltimore Ravens. Matt's a Bears fan, for those who didn't know. We'll be talking about that. Plus, the other 3 games that we're going to look at today, Bills, Panthers, Eagles, Giants, Chiefs, Commanders, which is tomorrow. But you wanted to start, and so, by the way, that means we're avoiding the Green Bay Packers, Pittsburgh Steelers. Sucks to suck, folks. But you wanted to start... You wanted to start, Matt, with a couple of news and notes or nuggets. I don't know what the hell you wanted to do involving the Patriots and the Colts, too. Certainly the biggest surprise in the NFL in the Colts, and perhaps for the Patriots, maybe making that jump a little faster than some of us expected them to.
I think that the Colts are awesome, and I just want to get that out there. I think that Lou Amarillo is doing an awesome job as a defensive coordinator for the Colts. I think Daniel Jones should be the MVP. I think he is the most valuable player in the league. He has been awesome this year. He's second in QBR. He's third in EPA from quarterbacks. Now the guy that he's behind in both of those are Dak Prescott. Okay, but no offense to your Cowboys. The Cowboys are not 6-1. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And they are not.
Which shows the importance of Dak more than Daniel Jones is that he doesn't have a defense and he knows he has to score touchdowns every drive. Matt.
No. Matt. Josh, do you know that Daniel Jones hasn't been sacked on third down this season?
That is an incredible stat. Also, that's ridiculous. Not sustainable, but pretty cool. Good job by him.
Do you know that his EPA per play against pressure is like second? It's second.
Who's it behind?
I don't know.
Is it Dak again?
It's a Mina Kimes stat.
Hell yeah, Mina.
Hey, Mina. Yeah.
Hey, Mina.
Hey, Mina. He's been absolutely incredible this year. The run game, like Jonathan Taylor, was definitely in his I'm an old man and I've had too many carries. And then last season was kind of like the get back, and this season has been the I'm here. Tyler Warren, my fucking football team should have drafted him. It was so fucking stupid then. It's so fucking stupid now. I mean, it's the dumbest shit of all time.
It really is stupid, man. What are you thinking?
We decided to take a safety valve as opposed to taking, a dynamic, put him anywhere in the field and he can do, and you can line him up. A team that that should have gone to the national championship had him lining up as a running back. Okay.
Correct.
Against some of the best teams in the country. So, and then you had these stupid scout people telling me, Colson Loveland, he's got really good length. And, if you actually look at the type of the tight ends that do well in the NFL, he actually fits their model. Watch fucking football, all right?
Yeah. Don't put it on the internet that Matt is mad.
So, anyway, he's awesome. The offensive line is great. And Loic
Tilatu.
Great play caller. Loic Tilatu, their defensive end from UCLA that they drafted last season, has actually come on and been really good the last couple of weeks. And so they're getting a pass rush now. I mean, they are just doing everything correctly. And have they beaten the best teams? No. But they've kicked their ass. And today they are I think a 14-point favorite against the Tennessee Titans.
14.5-point favorite. Yeah, today they will kick another team's ass, and it's the Titans, which they already kicked their asses 41-20 back in week number 3. Matt, their next month is pretty interesting beyond today because they got the Steelers. Right? They have an overseas game against Atlanta, and Atlanta is week to week. I have no idea what they are, but I think that at the very least they're frisky, though it sounds like they're starting.
And they got a good defense. They got a good defense now, and they have a pass rush, which is crazy. Atlanta
and then
has a pass
then they have the Sunday before Thanksgiving. They are in Kansas City to take on the Chiefs in what will be a huge game theoretically for seeding, as long as Kansas City takes care of business over the next couple of weeks. They have the Bills before that as well, and then they have the Texans. So a real nice opportunity for them over the next month to not lock up a 1 seed or anything like that, but they can really put themselves in good position. For those wondering, they do not play the Bills in the regular season, so we will not be talking about a Bills Colts matchup for seeding purposes. So Buffalo's going to need to take care of business and then hope that they get a little bit of help elsewhere in terms of they'll, if they both won out, the Colts would be the number 1 seed because they only have 1 loss right now. I don't think they're going to win out, but either way, a pretty interesting next few weeks for Indianapolis. Matt, this reminds me of one of those old school out of nowhere teams that we used to have. Like when I was a kid, and so right around the time that you were born, I feel like there was. Sorry, I didn't mean to age both of us.
No,
but I
good.
just the '99 Rams, in my opinion, are the best example of out of nowhere, worst to first, which the NFL can deliver. This is pretty crazy though, given that a week before the season started, it came out that Daniel Jones was going to be the starter. And all of the internet nerds in the NFL community were like, this is the dumbest crap that I've ever seen. They're morons. Because they wanted Anthony Richardson. And I thought, I understood the reasoning. I didn't think that they were going to be good this year. I also thought that it was well past time to move on from the Anthony Richardson experience. So I was totally okay with the move while thinking it was funny that the Colts were going to do that. And instead, like, not only was it the correct decision, but they're the best team record-wise in the AFC. It's pretty incredible.
It always goes to remind you that, like, you're not at practice, and you're not seeing them day to day, and you're not in the locker room, and the teams at times just know way more and way better than people like us who are on the outside looking in. And it's funny. It's not even just the internet nerds. It was very well-respected people being like, why would you cut off the ability for Anthony Richardson to potentially hit a ceiling? Like, why? Like, what Daniel Jones is going to give you. Clearly, nobody knew what Daniel Jones could give this team because he is playing like the best quarterback possibly for this team. So I think also, too, you have to remind yourself, though, Daniel Jones did make $40 million in New York. Okay, like they did give him a $40 million contract. It's not as if like they didn't just give him that money. They at one point believed, hey, this guy could be the future, could be a pretty sustainable quarterback in the NFL. And you know what? He wasn't
with them
with them. And at the same time, it's like you take a top 10 draft pick. You put him behind a solid offensive line with a great run game.
Great running back, yeah.
With legitimate weapons to throw to. And it's like, all right, I mean, he is just taken, the Colts gave him an inch and he is taking a mile. And they are playing really, really good football. And I don't, they're going to go through probably at some point from like week 10 to week 14, they'll go through a little bit of a rough stretch. It'll get late in the season and we'll start doubting, are they really the guys? And are they going to be able to do this? But I think that this is a team that can beat anybody. They can beat absolutely anybody in the league. And I don't think anybody thought that heading into the season.
That game against the Chiefs, assuming that they get through the next couple of games with, let's even just say one extra loss on the ledger, but if they go 3-0 or 2-1, they're going to go into that game, depending on what happens with the Chiefs. Like, I mean, that is going to be the one where, anyone who's kind of wondering or waiting for them to fall apart, like that will be the game where we get a great idea about them. It's going to be wild that's a nooner.
Crazy.
Like maybe
they should flex that. I mean, if we're all into flexing now.
Here is why they won't. If I remember the schedule, and I believe I do, the 3:25 game that week is Cowboys-Eagles. So certainly won't flex into that. Whoa! It could be an NFC East tilt for the top of the NFC East. What are we talking about?
It's going to be the two best teams in the NFL playing each other. I don't give a fuck about the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Wow, triggered. Let me see what the Sunday night game is. November 23rd.
It's probably like Panthers Jaguars or something.
Okay, it's not Panthers Jaguars. Will you settle down? It's Bucks Rams. That's intriguing.
And that's
Bucks Rams.
That's way more intriguing than Eagles Cowboys.
Nice. Okay, so that was the Colts. Let's talk about the Patriots. This is it. I feel like this segment was designed. This is not a radio show. It's just us shooting the shit. I feel like this topic is designed to trigger me because I was way out on Daniel Jones, obviously, as a Cowboys fan. Thought he sucked. Still can't believe this. And I have been on the Drake May is mid bandwagon, and people are idiots. And now I'm taking L's left and right. I do not think the Patriots are going to win the AFC East, but I would be a moron to not acknowledge their schedule is so advantageous and that they could go on a nice little run here. What did you want to say about the Pats?
I didn't bet the Pats season over to begin the season, but I told a lot of people to do it, and they are benefiting from it. Because they at the beginning of the year were favorites in 11 games, and I don't think people recognize that. Like, hey, the schedule's really, really easy. On top of that, after Drake May's game against Pittsburgh, where he was terrible, I was a lot of
turnovers.
I was listening to a Bill Simmons podcast, and they were like, Drake, maybe, but now he's like Drake for sure. Like he is awesome. And on top of that, I'm in a keeper league in fantasy football, and I kept Drake May because if you draft him as a rookie, you get 2 extra years of keeping. And people called me a madman. They told me I was an idiot. They told me I was a dumbass. They're like, that's the stupidest keeper of all time. Who's laughing now? All right. I could have the future of the league in my fantasy football team. And it's all just to say I thought that when they took him last year, it was a mistake. Because I'm like, the offensive line is not good enough. You don't have a good enough run game. You don't have any weapons. You're going to put this kid behind this O-line and a terrible offense, and he's going to get killed. And they put him behind that offensive line and put him in that offense, and he looked good. He looked good enough. You're like, all right, this isn't an absolute disaster. Like, he's cleaned some things up and he's gotten things better, and and he's a legitimate athlete. And he looked pretty reminiscent of what Josh Allen looked like in his first season in Buffalo. And so I thought that, maybe it'll be a bit of a process of like getting him in and like, developing a little bit, but like his deep ball is awesome. He throws he's one of the most accurate deep ball passers in the NFL in his second year in the season. It's crazy.
Sad. Do not like. So the Patriots, we mentioned the Colts are playing the Titans today. I don't like them. They do not deserve to have 6. They don't deserve. They won 6 Super Bowls. They can go a little bit without having a good quarterback. It's okay. That said, I am intrigued a little bit by their game today versus the Browns because the Browns have a good defense. And so it's going to be nice to see what they do.
It will be his biggest task. It will be the best defense that he's really played because there are still people who get paid a lot of money to cover this league talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers like they have a good defense. They don't. That defense is terrible. Yeah, they're awful. Yeah. Which, by the way, do you want it? I didn't realize Bryce Young was out for the Panthers-Bills game, at least until yesterday. So, do you want to talk about Pittsburgh-Green Bay?
Do you want? So, should we remove? We're removing Bills Panthers from the.
I wanted to talk about Bills Panthers because I thought it could have been a trap game for Buffalo.
Yeah. Well, how about this? So I'll give you 2 stats for that game real fast, and we can we can do the Sunday night game. Bills looking to avoid scoring 20 points or fewer in 3 straight games for the first time since 2020, which is insane.
That
they have had that night streak. Their run defense 31st in the NFL, giving up over 150 yards per game on the ground. And what do they got going on in Carolina right now?
They got a run game, baby.
They do have a run game. The Dallas Cowboys saw that a couple weeks ago. Bad.
Well, also, it's your former guy. Your former guy is killing.
Yeah, Dowdle.
You're good. You're scoring points. You don't fucking need Rico Dowdle. Who gives a shit?
No, I just wish he wouldn't have ran for 1 billion yards. I don't. I like Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams runs hard. He reminds me of Emmett Johnson. They both run very, very hard, which I very much appreciate as a fan of a team. Bills Panthers. Like that'll be on one of the quad boxes when we're watching games together at noon. It'll be on. It'll be up there.
Dalton's playing. And I thought that would have been a very interesting conversation if Young is playing, but Young is not playing, and that's a shame. But I do think this Panthers team, frisky, like they are frisky plus. Like they're more than just frisky. Like frisky they are plus. Like they could actually be a pretty decent team. But unfortunately for them, like it's gonna be with like the NFC North is probably going to get 3 teams into the playoffs. Hopefully gets 3 teams.
I was going to say, wait a second. That means you think the Bears are going to make the playoffs.
Hopefully
get another win today, baby. Get another win today.
The NFC West. I can't wait
to see your psychopathic self. It's going to be great.
The NFC West is super competitive. You got the Rams and the Niners and the Seahawks. And the 49ers have a super easy schedule. And you're already kind of conceded to the fact that you're not going to win the NFC South. And so at that point, if you're Carolina, you kind of like this would be a massive win if they beat Buffalo, and they could firmly put themselves in a playoff conversation, which another team that I don't think anybody really had marked down to be in this position at all. If they had Bryce Young, but I don't think. I mean, look, if we're doing the whole like who has the least amount of drop off from starter to backup, it's probably the Panthers. Yeah. But I think it just. I don't know. I don't want to talk about Andy Dalton. We know what Andy Dalton is like. It's just like
totally fine.
And you hit the high point. Bills are bad at stopping the run, and the Carolina Panthers are really good at running the football. So it could be very interesting.
And we have seen the Panthers much better at home this year than on the road. They got this game at home, so let's see what they're able to deliver. So that'll be a nooner. All right, so let's get to the 5 games that we are talking about today. Let's go in order of operation.
All right.
Should we start with your game? The Bears on the road in Baltimore. You want to talk about a game that the vibe on this thing has completely shifted over the course of the last few days. Lamar Jackson practices early in the week. We're all expecting him to play. The Ravens are, a touchdown favorite. And then the report comes out on, was it Friday or was it yesterday, that Lamar actually had, I think it was yesterday about Friday, where he had ran the scout team in the practice which was an indicator that he is not going to start today.
Yeah. On Friday, it was hinted at like, oh, actually, because Monday through Wednesday, it was Lamar's back.
Yep.
Like everybody.
And that's what the point spread was telling us as well.
And then you wake up Friday and you get the injury report, and you're like, oh, Lamar was limited in Thursday practice. That's weird. And then we got the report, you're right, late Friday, early Saturday. Hey, he was running the scout team, so Snoop Huntley is going to be the quarterback. I know better as a Bears fan to get excited than when a backup quarterback is playing for the other team. It just doesn't really mean anything for them, it seems like, okay, just in the past. And this is just me not – I still don't believe like Ben Johnson is my head coach. Like I still think the Bears are just the Bears, and I'm waiting for the bottom to fall out. Yep. But this is going to be a pound the rock game. Baltimore has a bad defense. They're 28th in EPA per rush. They get Roquan Smith back, so that's good for them. But I do think that Roquan Smith has taken a bit of a step back as just a player in general. He's still really good, but I don't think he's like near defensive player of the year level as he once was. And even when Roquan was playing, it wasn't going well anyway. So I think it'll be a big game for Kyle Monungai, big game for DeAndre Swift. I think that they're going to get Caleb rolling right and rolling left, and they're going to tell him, hey, pop it or run it. I think it is going to be I don't think the Bears are going to score. I would prefer the Bears to control the game as opposed to put as many points as possible on the board because the secondary is hurt. I love Courtney Cronin. She's a great reporter for ESPN. She reports on the Bears. She's a beat reporter for them. I woke up and I'm like, what the fuck, Court? Like, Tyreek Stevenson's out. Kyler Gordon's out. Cole Kmet's out. I mean, the Bears finally, last week, got a healthy secondary, and you're like, oh my God, like this is what it's going to look like. Like they have this is awesome. Brisker, Gordon, Johnson, Stevenson, and all of a sudden now 2 of the guys are out, and you're like, what the hell's going on? So I'm a little nervous because they have some pretty key injuries, but I think that if DeAndre Swift and this run game, which is definitely shored up over the last 2 weeks, can do what they've done in the past, they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine.
Couple things.
I might bet them.
Oh, wow. Okay, this could be a wild ride with you.
I don't think I will.
Don't do that, Matt. Don't do that. This is, dude, you get by today, and I know you know this, at Cincinnati, Giants at home, at Minnesota, and then the schedule gets a lot tougher because you got Steelers, Eagles, you got Packers twice, you got the Niners and the Lions all in the back half. So,
it is so bad in the back half.
Gotta stack wins. You gotta stack wins. I'd say over the next – I mean, look, you have 3 road games in the next 4. And I know Minnesota's been a tire fire lately, but they did beat your team back in week 1 on that Monday night game, man. But you go 3-1 in this stretch. I think 4-0 is also on the table for you.
They need to win today.
Absolutely. And you just mentioned a couple minutes ago the Panthers, how they have probably the smallest drop-off from starter to backup. The Ravens have had this year the largest gap between – Lamar Jackson. Now, it seems like it's going to be Snoop Huntley today.
It is Snoop Huntley.
Yeah, and so it's not going to be, what's his name, Cooper Rush, which is good because, God. Also, do I have to give Mike McCarthy a little bit of credit for finding as many wins as he did with Mr. Rush over the last year?
You know that you have to give Mike McCarthy more credit than you give Mike McCarthy.
I don't like him as much as my new coach, though. My new coach is
I know, but all of you guys were crapping on him. You're like,
hey, you know about me. Floor raiser.
No.
Well, yes, don't trade Micah Parsons away.
I don't want to. I like this Schottenheimer guy.
I don't want to hear your Jerry Jones impression. So that's Ravens. That's Ravens and Bears. That is in the early window. That game is in Baltimore. The Ravens still a short home favorite. But as you said, man, Bears get a victory here, and you're squarely in the mix for things.
Dude, for real. It's crazy. I mean, and you talk about a big drop off from Lamar Jackson to Snoop Huntley. Probably I'm so pissed that the Bengals got Joe Flacco because now I'm like, damn, they could actually lose that game because if they play Jake Browning, I'm like, there's no way they lose to the Bengals. Mm-hmm. So screw that. Who's the Cleveland Browns GM who got crapped on from Mike Tomlin? Was his name Chris Berry or something like that? Screw that guy for trading.
Yeah, screw that guy.
He sucks.
Next game is Eagles Giants. This game is in Philadelphia. I'm watching NFL Network right now. Matt in my office, and Dallas Goedert is getting interviewed, and he is wearing some old school Kelly Green Eagles gear. So that tells me that they're wearing the Kelly Green stuff, which is sharp. We just saw this game, 17 days ago. Oh my gosh, you are just a disgusting freak. You are. What the hell is this? Are you wearing that monstrosity to my house today? I don't.
Hell no. No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
But isn't it dope? Isn't it a cool jersey?
No, it's not. It's ugly. I hope that you spill hot sauce on it someday.
And it's it's Kelly Green, but it's also a niche guy. Like, who the hell gets a Dallas Goedert jersey? You know, like when I give this to my kid in 25 years, the kids are gonna be like, "Oh, Dallas Goedert, who the hell is that?" You know?
Oh, Matt McMaster, father. Who saw that coming? By the way, Jabs wrote a few minutes ago, Matt, I want the Bears in the playoffs. That fan base deserves something good.
I don't want. I mean, dude, Bears being in the playoffs would be terrible for my health, but I'd be incredibly excited about it.
Be good times. Good times. Back to Eagles Giants. So we just saw this game 17 days ago. That was, to this point, for a 5-2 team. It's so funny how we discuss Philadelphia, and like we all know why. They're just a very drama, messy filled team. But that was certainly the low point of this year so far. That was a bad game by Philadelphia. Now they responded very well last week against the Vikings. Meanwhile, the Giants, who have played better football over the course of the last month, and that is inarguable. And then they blow the 19-0 lead to start the fourth quarter on the road in Denver. Now they have to come back to the East Coast, go on the road, and play in Philadelphia. What most intrigues you about this matchup today?
Can Vic Fangio adjust? Vic Fangio got against Jackson Dart and the New York Giants the last time they played each other. I mean, he sent pressure, I think, it was either 49 or 51% of the time against Dart, hoping that, he could rattle a rookie quarterback. And Dart played really well, got the ball out quick, and then on top of that, just ran everywhere. I mean, he just ran all over the Eagles. And so I'm interested to see, does Philadelphia, what are the adjustments do they make? How do they plan for the run game of Jackson Dart? And I just love watching Cam Scatterbo just play football. And I think it'll be I think he's just so electric. On the Eagles end, no A.J. Brown. He's out, hamstring injury.
That doesn't mean he hasn't been traded yet. He's just out for today.
He's just out for today. I kind of want to see what this offense looks like with Devonta Smith as the number one guy, as the dude with no one else around him. And I think that, he's been – if you've been watching Eagles football and you've been watching Eagles football and I've been watching Eagles football, like you kind of look at the games and you're like, oh, he's open. Like Devonta Smith is open more than you anticipate. And he is one of those very rare wide receivers where his menu, his route tree is not limited at all. He can run any route that you could think of. So it's going to be interesting to see how they use him. And then on top of that, can Saquon actually look like Saquon for once this season?
And I wonder, like, at what point do we stop asking that question? Like, how many more weeks do you need to see of him not being that before you're like, this is, I guess, who he is now?
So I don't know if I don't think we can ever stop asking the question, but I do think that you have to stop banking on it's going to happen. I think like in week 2 or week 3, you're like, oh, no, it'll come around. Like, they'll be fine. Like, the run game will figure itself out. Like, I don't think you can assume that anymore. I don't think that's something you can bank on. I just think we're going to keep asking it because we saw it so plainly last season. They won a Super Bowl because of it. Yeah. But, yeah, I don't think you can say, oh, at some point Saquon's going to be great. He could just go the whole season being mid. And like we talked about last week, he had 400 carries last season.
It just wasn't going to be sustainable. Like the drop off was going to happen for him. Yeah, like I certainly like what you see from him a week ago. Their offense rebounded very well. Their passing game, the explosive passes were suddenly there. And yeah, I mean, you mentioned Smith a couple of minutes ago. Like, man, that dude and just how he makes a subtle move and suddenly he's wide open on a deep ball and Jalen Hurts is hitting him in stride and they're taking a lead. The game script of last week, the game flow rather, it just allowed them to get in such a nice spot. It did not a couple of weeks ago when they played this team. And a lot of game flows this year have been hard for them. So like, what will the game flow look like early on in this one? Couple things for you from this
point.
one. So
I like that.
When this team is in goal to go, they are incredible. They are 100% in terms of touchdown percentage when they have goal to go, which is just wild. Yeah,
that's a great stat.
How about this? 82.5% red zone touchdown percentage. So they're like, they are number one. They lead the league, or they co-lead the league in terms of goal to go situations. They lead the league in red zone touchdown percentage, but they also lead the league in 3-and-out drives resulting in a punt.
Whoa.
And they have 31 drives without a first down, which is tied for the second most behind only Tennessee. And so it's like, you want to talk, Matt, about like a true boom or bust 2025 team. And like, that's why, and you'll get to hear it from Riz today. Like, the frustration levels are either like really high or, wow, look, they have awesome players and they're scoring touchdowns a lot. I mean, there really is no middle ground. Also, how about this stat? I saw this on ESPN.com. Giants 6-2 ATS in their past 8 road meetings in Philadelphia, even though they're 0-8 outright. So they're like always covering, even though they're always losing, which is the worst way to be a fan.
That is a great stat. That is awesome. I think with the Giants, like, they in general, just them in the last couple of years, like, it always could be a Giants week. It just always could be one of those games where it's just like, oh my God, like they are playing out of their mind and they win a game. And then it could always be a Giants week where they just suck. But I do think that Dart and Scatabo have just raised the floor of this team to the point where it's like, all right, you finally have two fairly dependable, regardless of how young they are, you have two guys that seem like they're dependable, that you can just kind of put the ball in their hands and at some point good things will happen. We also have to comment on the fact that they've invested a lot in the defensive line. And yes, they gave up 33 points in the fourth quarter, which is mind-boggling to me that they lost that game. But for 3 quarters, they played awesome defense, on top of that. So, I mean, we're talking about two teams. This is like the boom or bust game. It really is. Just two different teams that just can be so high and so low at different points. I think it's going to be really interesting. The result of this game will be very interesting to me. If the Eagles go ahead, they win the game, they're 6-2. Okay, hey, they beat a frisky Giants team. They've righted the ship a little bit. Maybe they can, kind of snowball this momentum. If they lose this game, though, like all of a sudden, you're 5-3. You're pushing the panic button. WIP radio is going crazy on Monday morning.
And by the way, do you know their schedule in the next month? I mean, we talked about your Bears and how they got it. Okay, you ready for this? So we talked about your Bears and how they got to take advantage. So after today, Eagles are going to be off. And then it goes Monday night in Green Bay against the Packers. Sunday night, Lions at home. On the road at the Cowboys. And then they have the Black Friday game against the Bears. Then they start, let's see, the first game that they play in December is a Monday nighter against the Chargers. Yeah. So they're like, God. Dude, I mean, so that is Monday night, 2 Sunday nights, the Black Friday, and the mid-afternoon on Fox. Like, massive games, massive spots. They also still have the Commanders twice at the end of the year, which let's see what they are. And the Bills. They have a Commander sandwich with the Bills as the meat there in the middle. So, like, we talked about the Bears needing to stack some wins. I mean, the Eagles can't stack wins. They have one game before that brutal stretch, but they need to get this win today because you're right. You go 5-3 into that. I mean, you're just really starting to worry about where you're going to be pecking order in the NFC.
Another thing, too, is like the Giants, I don't know. It'll be an interesting stretch that they go on, too, because they play the Niners, then the Bears, the Packers, Lions, and Patriots after they play the Eagles. Like, that could be a stretch where they could go 0-5. They also could go 2-3. And you're like, whoa, what's going? Like, I think the Giants are not going to make the playoffs, and they're not going to do anything special this season. But what they could do is play well enough to convince you that next year they could be good. And maybe
I think so. They are going to be the frisky, sexy, like, this team is going to make a jump team.
And somehow Brian Dable is going to keep his fucking job again, which is wild.
So
to me.
Funny. How about what did he get fined? Was it $50,000 or $100,000, or was it even more than that?
Scatabo got $15,000. I think the Giants got $100 and he got $50, or they got $200 and he got $100. Anyway, he got
Dable's
fined a lot of money. That is so wild that you go into the blue tent.
Bro, what are you doing? After all the shit with concussions over the years, and then like that happens.
Well, Pete Carroll did that, but Pete Carroll sent somebody else over there. He didn't go in there himself.
The head coach didn't do it.
He kind of whispered to somebody like, hey, tell him to go and get Russ out of that tent. I'm so sick and tired of watching. I don't even know who the backup quarterback for Seattle was. Was it Castle? I don't even know.
Yeah,
but
no idea.
I mean,
Oh,
dummy,
so funny.
just a dummy. But how insulting is that with Russell Wilson, where it's like we'd rather have a scrambled egg brain Jackson Dart out there than your ass? Which, by
Yikes.
the way, you keep bringing it up, and I keep thinking it's so funny, but Russell Wilson was so great against the Cowboys.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. We'll get to
Hey,
the
you
Cowboys
won
game.
that game. You
I
won
know.
that game.
Thank God. Get to that. We'll get to Cowboys in a couple moments, but my wife, she just
My
posted
wife.
in the Discord server, Matt, I love your Goddard jersey, and I am jacked for the peach cobbler. And then it attaches a photo of the future smash burgers that she is currently weighing out right now to put on the grill. Yep. Gonna be a.
She's got a
day.
scale too.
Oh yeah.
That's how you know it's fucking.
Oh yeah.
We're down
I love bragging about her cooking, and I love bragging about her cooking then when other people get to try it. And I do not think you will
That's
be disappointed
actually,
today.
Riss, I like that you put them in a cupcake holder in order to get some uniform size on your balls of meat.
Nice. She knows what's going on with the balls
That's
of meat.
actually really, I've never thought of doing that before.
Well, she can teach you a lot, man. She really can. All right, let's get to.
So
Yeah,
that's pretty
I am not. Let's get to Cowboys Broncos, the 325, the main event of the day. Some would say, Matt, this is the game that all of America will be watching. So back in the day on Sportsmanlike Conduct, we had this great guest named Mike Wilkening. He wrote for Pro Football Weekly. He came on before my time when it was the Kevin and Michael era. He came on with John and myself as well. Mike left the business probably a decade ago now, maybe a little bit less. He's been out of the game for a while, but still follow him on Twitter, and he tweets out NFL picks, each and every week. And so last night I'm sitting on the couch enjoying some glorious college football, though I guess it really wasn't that glorious. There were a lot of blowouts last night. And Mike
really
Wilkening,
crappy, actually.
He put out his Week 8 picks against the spread. He had the Pats to cover. He had the Titans to cover. He has the Steelers to cover. And there in the middle, Mr. McMaster was Cowboys plus 3.5.
Whoa.
So all I responded was, Mike. And then he responded, Josh. But then he added, you do realize Shoddy's a top half of the league coach already, LOL. And here's the thing about this game today, Matt.
Don't. Get the fuck out of here.
Wow.
I'm
Triggered.
That's not true. That's
okay.
not true.
All right.
Well, continue.
So I have been very pessimistic about this team, right? Like everybody knows that.
I feel like you're turning the corner.
Well, so let's talk about today. If they win today,
go ahead.
They will have the dumb, ridiculous record of 4-3-1. It would be their first time above 500 all year long, first of all. Second of all, Matt, their next two games are both on Monday nights. They play Monday against the Cards at home, then they're off, then they play the Raiders on the road on Monday night. And then, admittedly, very tough stretch upcoming. The Eagles are on the schedule, as we just talked about. The Lions are on the schedule. The Chiefs are on the schedule.
Yeah,
so in terms of stacking, okay, go to hell. In terms of stacking up wins, today is, I think, the dividing line, fork in the road between Dallas should make a move. They should go after Max Crosby. They should go after somebody on it.
The brakes, but
they should. Well, I just said to go after him. I didn't say they will get him. I'm just saying go after him. Kick the tires. Make some. I wish I was in the studio right now so I could pick up the phone and make a phone call. I think you do that because you win this. They're going to have one more game before the trade deadline. That's the home game against the Cardinals. And at that point, if you win, certainly their home splits, by the way, dude, they are putting up at home 41.3 points per game. On the road, it's 24.5 points per game. That's the difference between the number one offense in the NFL by a lot and the 14th number scoring offense, tied actually with where the Eagles are. So that's what they have been. Home, they're like the best offense ever. Road, they're fine. And so you need to see today. Today's a great test, man. I'm legitimately excited because the Broncos defense is really good. Now, I know they gave up a lot of points last week. I understand that. But Broncos defense, really good. Altitude, really good. And one stat for you before you go. Dallas hasn't won in Denver since 1992. I was 4 years old, man. That was the first Super Bowl of the 90s for the Cowboys that season was. So, it's been a house of horror. Some of my least favorite games ever, oddly, have come against the Broncos. They've gone there 8 years ago when they played there. They went in. Zeke Elliott had like 8 carries for 9 yards or some shit. They lost 42-17. I mean, they got absolutely mauled. And that Broncos team sucked. So
yeah.
I'm nervous. I'll be honest. I'm nervous. I don't think that they're going to win today. I don't think that they are going to cover today. But if they do, I am going to be all aboard the time to make some, like, let's do what you can to fix the defense. Because if they win today, it's going to be because the offense is good once again.
So I think this is actually a very intriguing matchup.
Hell yeah, it is.
For me. And unfortunately for you, I don't know if the Cowboys match up great against the Broncos. The Broncos have the third highest total EPA on defense. Now Dallas Cowboys have a top 5 EPA on offense, so that will be incredibly entertaining to see those two teams go at it. But the Cowboys have the 28th, the fourth lowest expected points added on defense this season, and this Denver Broncos run game is really good. They are fourth in EPA in rushing, but then if you're going just vanilla numbers, they're averaging 131 yards on the ground per game. That's sixth in the NFL. So I think that the Broncos definitely have the opportunity to kind of just hand this ball off and, drain some clock. And I think Sean Payton could potentially put on kind of we're going to go on a 12-play, 6-minute and 30-second touchdown drive masterclass, keep Bo Nix limited, run this football. And look, I mean, obviously Dallas is going to score today, but
hell yeah.
I think that Dallas, because of this matchup, they can't make as many mistakes as Denver, right? Like Denver.
Every drive where you don't get points or you settle for 3, it feels like, I mean, we saw 2 weeks ago against Carolina. It's like a death sentence for him, which is a wild world to live in where you have to score a touchdown every damn drive.
There are just some games where it's like, okay, the other team has better players than you on paper, but you can go out there and you can beat them. And then there are some games where it's just like, actually the matchups lower your margin for error. And I just think that this is a game where the Dallas Cowboys margin for error is just a lot smaller than the Denver Broncos, which is why I would be more in tune to pick the Broncos to win this game because of that. Yeah. At the same time, though, I mean, you bring up an interesting point. They could be 5-3-1. They very well could be 5-3-1.
And hey, if they're 5-3-1, there's no reason that they will lose or they should lose to the Raiders. They could be 6-3-1.
And so they could be 6-3-1. And it's just like,
got to take care of business today. Not take care of business. You got to overcome a real tough environment today.
Yeah, but at that point, Josh, it would be malpractice to not make a move at the deadline if you are 5-3-1. It would with the Raiders coming up. It would be bad.
You have to make a move at that point.
Make a move.
You can't, because if they win today, it's going to be because of the offense. If they win against the Cards, it's going to be because of the offense. So it's like at a certain point, you have to look at that group and what Dak Prescott and George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb and Javonte Williams and that offensive line. You have to look at them and say, we will do it. We are doing a disservice to you if we are at least not attempting to fortify. Go from the worst in the league to like the 20th worst defense. Like, is that a recipe to win a Super Bowl? No, it's like still really, really difficult, but at least give yourself a fighting chance to do something this year.
But you just used the correct word, disservice.
Yes.
It is a disservice to the fan base. It is a disservice to your players. It's
disservice
a disservice
to Dak Prescott.
To Dak Prescott and the entire franchise for you not to cough up at least some draft capital and say, let's go and get another guy in the defensive line, or let's go and get a linebacker, or let's go and get another corner while whatever is happening with Trayvon Diggs is happening, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just, if they win this game, I think you're totally spot on. I think you're totally spot on in your evaluation of what this team can be and what they should do. Albeit, I don't think anybody after 7 games should be considered to be in the top half of NFL coaches, but he is an offensive coach and their offense is awesome. And so I'm going to give him all the credit in the world for doing that. And they're 3-3-1 with a terrible defense. That's impressive.
Yeah, this would be like, over the years, I've not really watched Dallas and said, wow, that was a coaching win. Like, you get a win today, and I've been really enjoying the Schottenheimer experience so far. A win today, and I think I'm going to be head over heels for the guy. By the way, I just saw a tweet that apparently Jay Glazer has reported that the Cowboys made calls to both the Raiders and the Bengals for Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson this weekend. Both calls were rebuffed. Now, trade deadline still a couple weeks away, so maybe playing a little hardball. I at least like the gumption to attempt to do something. We will, we will.
I called Sidney Sweeney.
Okay, come on. What are you talking about? Max Crosby is not some untouchable player.
They're not going to trade him.
Okay, I mean, I didn't think the Cowboys would trade Micah either, and here we are.
Okay, so that's a valid
The Raiders are also stupid. The Bengals are also cheap and stupid.
Okay.
We're not talking about great franchises.
These are good points. These are all valid points. I'm just saying, I just think in this day and age of football, defensive ends are almost like the quarterbacks of defenses. If you have one, you don't get rid of them.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought too. And then this team that I follow got rid of one of them.
Good point.
I would say that, like, the Raiders, man, like, why?
This really is a comedy routine at this point.
Yeah, just like, hey, bottom out. Raiders should bottom out. That's what I think. Raiders should bottom out. Dallas could trade him a first and a third, and you know what? You can take Trayvon Diggs too. Just take him. Take him off of my roster. We'll throw him in, and Mozzie Smith, and you can have Mozzie Smith as well,
and get Deron Bland out of there as well. I mean,
okay, now let's not be an idiot. That's Cowboys. That's Cowboys Broncos. There was a good question from Josh.
Go ahead.
No, Jabs asked.
When we talk about our teams. I know nobody else gives a crap, but I think it's so funny.
Yeah, Jabs, who's our resident Broncos fan hanging out in the Discord today, says, what version of Bo Nix shows up today? To which I say, I hope the shitty one. I hope the real bad version of Bo Nix makes an appearance today. That is the positive. Now watch Bo Nix will put together his finest day as a Denver Bronco, because that's what a lot of quarterbacks do against the Cowboys. That is what a lot of quarterbacks do against the Cowboys. All right, we have 2 games to go, and we have about 10 minutes left because I got stuff to do around the house before you guys come over. So and you got your cobbler to make. So
and I got to go to Iowa.
And you got to go to Iowa. Let's tackle these games. Packers, Steelers tonight. Commanders, Chiefs tomorrow. I can't explain it. This Pittsburgh Steelers team, you look at them right now, they're 4-2, even though they had the god-awful loss last week to Cincinnati. And I still feel like they have 2 or 3 more wins than they should have right now. They should have lost to the Jets in week 1. Patriots turned the ball over 5 times in week 3. They barely beat the Vikings overseas. And it's just like, I hate them because I think they're going to win today and move to 5-2. And I just can't explain how they keep pulling games out of their keister, man. It is so damn frustrating. I don't know who I'm rooting for tonight. I hate both of these teams. Everyone is always like, how do you hate the Steelers so much? I despise that franchise. And then you think I'm going to like the Packers after what they did, after what they have taken away from me over the last decade plus? So I don't know. Maybe I'm rooting for another tie. Go Ties.
Says you. Who am I going to root for? I fucking hate. I can't.
You hate the quarterback. You hate the team.
I hate the team. Wait, and you're talking about what the Packers have done to you for the last 10 years. What have the Packers done to me since I came out of the womb?
No, I don't care about regular season heartbreak. I'm talking about playoff heartbreak
They beat us in the NFC Championship game in 2010.
Shit, they did.
Randall Cobb absolutely.
You were like 10.
It doesn't matter. I was still alive. I was 8 in 2010.
Yeah, that doesn't count as much.
We went to Manelli's Deli and we got a bunch of sandwiches. Manelli's Deli is over in it's in Niles, Illinois, Milwaukee. It's a great deli. We went to the deli. We got a bunch of sandwiches. Then we went to Old Town. We did a little shopping. We got some like Bears Irish decorations. And we went back home. We had the radio on all the way there. And my cousin Andrew came over, and I had a couple friends come over, and it was supposed to be this coronation of like, oh my God,
let's hang out and eat sandwiches.
Yes, and yes, dude, that is. By the way, that has never left me. All right, my perfect day is eating sandwiches, watching football. That's just how I want to live my life forever.
There we go.
And so it's just that was like, oh my God, they're in Soldier Field. Like this is gonna be incredible. The Bears are gonna go. We were like, do we want? We were literally having the convo of like, do we want to play the Jets or the Steelers? Like that was the conversation.
Jets would have been the answer.
And they ripped the kilts, and the Caleb Haney, goes into the game, and the BJ Raji shaking his, I don't want to fat shame him, but
I was going to say, are we body shaming now?
We're not. No, we're not body shaming. But yeah, so don't talk about I don't know playoff.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Des
caught
it.
One of the worst days of my life.
And then 2 years ago they broke my spirit. So yeah, all that to say, Matt and I don't know who we're rooting for tonight.
Screw both these teams.
I hope both teams go to hell. I think what I'm rooting for is this: the maximum amount of pain that can happen. I hope happens tonight. Whatever that means. Where a team blows a 40-point lead, like sign me up for it. I don't want injuries, but otherwise, I'm here for any and all pain by either side tonight. I do not want it.
In all seriousness and no joking, I agree with you. The Pittsburgh Steelers kind of defy what I think I know about football. They should be They should be way worse and have a worse record than what they have. But apparently, having a 40-plus-year-old quarterback who can't move anymore, somehow his quick game has gotten even better, and he's just defied the way that he can push the ball down the field.
70-yard air pass in the final play of the game against
I just don't get
Bengals.
like I thought he was toast. I thought he was done. I thought it was over. And like he's not great, but Pittsburgh is winning because of him, and he is now he's always been such a smart quarterback. He's always been the smartest guy on the field, but now I feel like he's at a different level because his body isn't up to his brain anymore. So his brain is now even more powered, and he's just picking apart teams, and just the way he controls the clock, the way he controls the field. He's just, I mean, I think he's the greatest quarterback that I've ever watched. I'll just say it with my like Tom Brady's the GOAT, right? But I think the greatest quarterback I've ever watched was Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers in his prime was something else. He was really good, which made the playoff failures all the more hilarious.
Even old man Aaron Rodgers, I'm still like, you're still like, you're not even close to what you've been, but you can't help but not admire, what he's doing. On the Packers side, yeah, I mean, they should have a better record than what they have, and they should be playing better football than what they have. And, I just don't think that the Micah bump outside of the first week he came in has been what we expected it to be.
I mean, he did have 3 sacks last week.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the entirety of the defense. Like,
yeah, I mean, they gave up 40 to the Cowboys. People forget that they gave up 40 points to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, so it's like, the defense should be better than what it is. And the offense has been – it's a little bit like Nebraska football, where like Nebraska football will have a drive and you're like, holy shit, this is what it looks like. And you're like, that's hot. And then they'll have like drives where you're like, what the hell is that? Like the Packers are the same way, where you're like, oh my God, look at them use Jacobs. Look at them pitch this ball out to Golden. Look at Love. I mean, he's dissecting the defense. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh,
he's fading away on his back foot for some god-awful reason and throwing an interception.
There's three and outs in a row. And you're like, what the hell is Matt LaFleur doing? So it's one of those things where it's two teams. One should be way better and one should be way worse. And we're going to have to listen to Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth talk about it tonight, which I'm excited for.
Oh, Mike, I got to tell you.
I mean, he looks like he did about 10 years ago, Mike. I mean, this is the same stuff Aaron Rodgers was doing in a Packers uniform. But, I mean, now he's the Steelers. And then tonight, listen to this. Jordan Love will make a good play and be like, it's funny. He learned that. You got to think that he learned that from the guy he's playing against tonight over number 8 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But, I mean, Mike, when I watch Jordan Love play, I see a little Brett Favre in him, too. I mean, and that just comes from the lessons that Aaron Rodgers gave him. I mean, it's incredible to watch.
Yeah, you're going to show all sorts of old highlights. By the way, Clint writes...
I think my Collinsworth is awesome. Okay,
it's okay.
Screw you. It is great.
Clint writes, that was the most painful Bears loss in my Bears fandom.
It was. People don't get what that 2010 NFC Championship has done to this fan base. Okay, that loss has it never went away. It never disappeared. It broke everybody's spirit 15 years ago, and they are still chasing redemption from it. It was just backbreaking what occurred at Soldier Field that day. Because you had Cutler on the bike, and you're like, Jay, you're playing like an MVP. Go back in. And he couldn't.
Sad. Finally, I don't really have a whole lot to say about the game tomorrow, mainly because Daniels isn't playing. And so, the Commanders, it does seem like they're getting their wide receivers back at least. Chiefs, I mean, look, is this all inevitable once again? Are they really going to do this? Are they really going to win the AFC? They're playing so good. Last week, I think we talked about it, that game against the Raiders. It just seemed so obvious that they were going to win and win big, and then I still didn't put them in my pick'em. And then what did they do? They not only won and won big, but they did so in maybe the most dominant fashion that you can see for a 30-point win, where the Raiders have the ball for, 30 snaps total, which is just an insane number. What was it? 3 first downs that they have all day long.
They were kneeing out the game. Kansas City was kneeing out the game with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to go.
Mahomes didn't play the last 4 or 5 drives or whatever it was. It was college shit, man. It really was. And
crazy.
So now they're playing the Commanders, and I just saw that team. Obviously, their defense gave up just a shitload of points. And again, Daniels is out. So at least the wide receivers are going to be back. I don't think that this is going to be a fun game tomorrow night. I'll be honest.
I want to see how Mike Samerskill looks tonight against Rashee Rice. I thought Samerskill, the second-year corner out of Michigan, looked really, really good last year. He's taken a step back. I want to see if he just had a bad couple of weeks, or is this kind of par for the course? Because if that's the case, this Washington Commanders team not only is screwed for this year, but I think screwed for just seasons. And clearly they have a bigger question mark in the defensive end than maybe they anticipated heading into the year. Man, like, I'm going to be honest with you, kind of fun watching the Chiefs last week. And I was like, haven't really seen this in a couple of years where Chiefs football is actually enjoyable to view. Chiefs football has not been fun to watch.
Okay? No, and so if they're going to be good, you at least want them to be fun.
Like they win games, but they're not entertaining games. And
they are now.
They are, dude, worthy. First off, I will never get over the fact that Buffalo gave Kansas City the pick to get Worthy. So what a bunch of idiots. What a stupid. And also, too, Buffalo gave them the pick to get Patrick Mahomes. So it's just like, I can't believe they can just continuously help this team out and give them the players that they want. But Rice and Worthy is going to be an absolute nightmare, and it's only going to open up the pass game even more for Kelsey. And I think Juju Smith-Schuster is actually a really, really good addition for the team, where you just need kind of your traditional route runner that'll get to the sticks and get your first downs, and that's what he's going to do. So I think this Chiefs team, after people thought that they were cooked, it seems like Nick Wright was right, which a lot of people were mad about, and that this team actually very well. But, I mean, if they go ahead and they look awesome again tomorrow, there are going to be a lot of people putting them back to number one in their power rankings, and I don't know if I can fully argue with it.
Yeah, especially as the AFC seems wide open and people are still doubting the Colts, which we talked about at the top of the pod just a little bit.
Not. They're awesome.
Yeah, because we just haven't seen them do it before. But until you've done it, you can't do it. All right, that is Before the Witching Hour. Sorry that the pod was just a little shorter than normal today because we were a little bit late. One of us was a little bit late, and we apologize for the both of us, for the one person who was a little bit late on the pod today. Thanks, everybody. Hope that you had a lot of fun. Enjoy the ball. I cannot believe it's already week 8. That is like the most sad sentence of all time. I hate that we are now at this time of year. Matt, next time we talk on one of these, first of all, we got to figure out the time because Jack and I are doing our post-game pod next Sunday, but also time change will have happened. So get ready for earlier sunsets.
Do we get an hour back or hour forward?
We get an hour back, so you'll get an extra hour of sleep overnight. Yeah, indeed. All right, everybody.
Just an extra hour of prep.
Yeah, there you go. By the way, Matt was on with Mike Schaefer on this week's Sunday Side Sessions, which probably is now available for you wherever you get your podcast. So go check that out.
I plugged our pod. Mike
Hell
was like,
yeah.
What do you do? And I go, I-80 Club. Go ahead and check it out.
Look at that. I'll be listening as I finish cleaning the house right after we say goodbye right now.
It was good. We had a funny moment. We had a funny moment where I go, can I be Northwestern fan for 4 minutes? And Mike goes, go ahead. And so that was about halfway through the pod where I just complained about Preston Stone being terrible at football.
Awful. Absolutely
so
awful.
Bad. Mike had some good lines. It was fun. You're the best. Appreciate it. My weekend has now begun, and it will last 6 hours.
Let's go, baby. Matt, I'll see you in an hour and a half. Everybody enjoy the ball today. Next NFL pod will come on Tuesday with Mike Schaefer and yours truly, National Fun League. We will recap everything that we saw this weekend, and I'll tell you if the Cowboys should make a trade or not. For Matt, I'm Josh. Have a great Sunday. We will talk to you later. Like and subscribe on your way out.